Hi guys, Jurassic Junkie here, and we know what we're going to be talking about, so welcome to the Friday Night Rant. So yes, before we kick on, let's have a little drink, and today's drink is a very cheap drink. It's cheap vodka and even cheaper energy drink by the name of Vanilla Gold, so it's all I'm just saying is aspartame. Not bad though. Can taste the vodka quite strong, but still. So yes, I'm back. I apologise for that massive break that I did take, but the sun was glorious. I did lots of things, and even now this room is incredibly hot. Combine it with two lights going against my face, this is going to be incredibly painful for me to do. But it would be rude not to do one because Nintendo did something. So let's crack on with Nintendo. And it's 2DS. Now seriously, all honesty, when this information first came out, I was on ImageUR just browsing it, and there was a picture of the 2DS, and as soon as I saw it, I just went on and carried on looking at different images, because simply as soon as I looked at it, I just thought that's a really good Photoshop of a fake, and carried on browsing. And then eventually I went onto IGN and saw that it was actually real, and I was like, my god, what are you doing, Nintendo? So first of all then, what do I think about it? I think it's completely pointless, and Nintendo have gone bonkers. Now my major problem is, again, I've said this many times in the past, the 3DS, terrific system, great, brilliance of games, I just think that is awesome. The Wii U, which we have purchased, it's lacking games, I've said this in the past, but it seems like they turn out a lot of hardware. We've seen that they've actually do lots of different colours of the 3DS. Obviously the Wii U's now going out and it's not shipping that many numbers, and now they're like, let's just chuck some hardware in the mix, which I don't think Nintendo need to do. But apparently this is going to be aimed towards the children, and it's actually been created to actually combat three different things. Durability, price, and the ability to obviously no longer have 3D so it can't damage small children's eyes. And the simple response to that is f***ing bullshit. First of all, durability. We had the lovely clamshell design. Now I understand some people have said the necks get loose, but to be fair, Jo is an avid 3DS user and a DS user, and she's never broke a neck to the point that she couldn't play it. The great design of a clamshell is you don't scratch the screen when it's in your bags. Now if I purchase a 3DS for my child, which I don't have, I'm referring to a child, not the 3DS, but I also don't have a 3DS, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but the point is I have none of these items, but if I had both, I would simply give the 3DS to the kid when he's going on the bus or something like that, and I'd be like, you just chuck it in your bag, it's going to get scratched, but I'm only thinking about the outside. But if they had the 2DS, I'd be straight away saying, watch where you put the screen, make sure you've got nothing against it, no metal objects. And before a lot of people kick off, I know you can get accessories to actually do it, but it's more cost. The next thing is price. So they're going to be shipping this at £109, so yes, it is cheaper than a 3DS XL brand new, but to be fair, it's aimed at the kids, and I'm a parent and my kid's going, but I want a 3DS and you haven't brought me one yet. I'd get a second hand one which retail around about 80 quid. So it's not really that cheaper. And the best thing is, they remove the 3D function, which you can do on a 3DS, and some people say straight away, yeah, but the kids might put the slider back up when you're not looking. No, you just go into the parent options and disable the 3DS permanently. So it feels like what they did when they actually made the Wii Mini. It was like the Wii's coming to the end of its life, the Wii U's ran its corner, and it was like, we're going to make a Wii Mini, simply because it's cheaper and people can get it if they can't afford it. And you're like, well no, because you're selling it for around about £100, and a second-hand Wii now is about 30 quid. And on top of it, you ripped out all the good features, and it feels like it's the same thing again now. Yes, you can play DS games, which is an awesome feature. I'll give you that one, Nintendo. But aside from that, you've now made it heavier, you've made the battery smaller, so it's going to die quicker, and you've also ripped one of the speakers out so it's mono sound. So all I can see is Nintendo have gone, we've made a worse product, and we're just going to try and ship it and see what it does. But the thing in my head, I just think that there's a warehouse somewhere where they're actually making like 1 million of these units, shipping it across the world, and they're not going to sell, and again they're going to hemorrhage money. Now I know Nintendo is completely staying afloat just with 3DS sales alone, but with the Wii getting poorer, we've just seen Asda now taking it off the shelves completely and not actually selling any of the units. Third-party support's getting less and less, really are damaging themselves with the Wii U unless they get a load of games out. And now they're like, let's just waste the money on more hardware. What the f*** are you doing, Nintendo? And to add on top of it, it looks atrocious, really horrible. So yes, I don't understand anyone that will purchase it unless you're a collector going, I'm going to get this because at one point it's going to be really scarce and rare. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is, if they're aiming this at kids and I'm a parent, I tell you now, I'll go and get them a 3DS or 3DS XL second hand, because it will be cheaper than buying this monstrosity. And then the icing on the cake is Reggie's actually come out this week and actually referred to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One game lineup as meh. which just makes me You've launched the console with not many games. We purchased it, and guess what? We're going in town tomorrow to sell it because we've realised, sod it, we're just going to go next gen. We don't think it's been utilised. It probably will get a bit better, like 3DS, you know what I mean? Slow start, gets better, but I don't think we're going to see that on the Wii U. We're going to see it get a bit better, but I don't think it's going to do exactly what the Wii did. So we're selling as. Then Reggie's got the cheek to turn around and says the Xbox and PlayStation lineup is meh, which is just absolutely ludicrous because I'm going to go with the X1. I've explained this, but for the first time ever, I've actually sit down with the mates going, what games do we buy? Because there's too many, and obviously they're expensive on launch, and we don't know what to buy. So we had to sit down and debate the pros and cons of each game. We've now nailed it down to just 4, because that alone is going to be around about £200. And not at one point did we have that problem with the Wii U. Jo got it. She got herself 4 games straight away, sold 3 of them straight off the bat because she didn't enjoy them. And then Pikmin came out, so I went out and got Pikmin for her. She's enjoying Pikmin, but she says, to be fair, there's not enough there for her to keep it. So to go from having a Wii U where you're going, where's the games, to going to the next gen going, which one do I pick? And Reggie turns around and says that. It's a bit rich. So I'm sorry, Nintendo fans, that you might feel like I'm bashing Nintendo, but I will 100% stick up for Nintendo and their decisions with the 3DS, because 3DS is an amazing piece of kit, but it seems like everything else to churn out is just gobshite. And as I said, I always feel like they just push the hardware. They're also obviously got the new Zelda remake. So that means more hardware. So now they've got the Wii U Zelda HD remake controller that you can go out and purchase, or well, get with a special version of the game, as well as figures and stuff like that. So again, it just seems like they're pushing too much on the hardware and they're not spending enough time on the software. Got you to land back. So, Xbox has been constantly in the news. We've given us lots of new information, and to be fair, it's quite hard for me to try and remember what I have actually spoke about. So here's some random information, no particular order. We're now getting 6.62 times more out of the GPU architecture. We're now getting 853 megahertz out of it, which was normally getting 800. Also, it's actually showing themselves that they're actually doing a white Xbox. Now, to be fair, I'm very boring. I just like sleek black. Love sleek and black. When I've had my PlayStations or Xboxes, I've always wanted them just the dark colours. If there was a variant, I've always stuck with dark. But the point still stands, I like the idea of choice. So this new white Xbox One has shown its face, and apparently it's only for staff only, which simply just means we're probably going to sell it in about a year. Which I absolutely hate. I would love for PlayStation and Xbox to just go, boom, there you go, there's the consoles, and we've got it in red, blue, black, white, all different colours. Even if they turn around and said the default colour of the actual console is black, and if you want any form of variant, it's going to cost you an extra £20–30. I wouldn't go for it, but I know a lot of people would. So you can easily make an extra 30 quid on your consoles by just putting a lick of paint on it. So I just don't know why manufacturers just don't do that straight away. Also, we've seen now a new game coming out by the name of Fable Legends, which at first I was about, ooh, I heard rumours of an MMO, which I would love the idea of. But they're going to go down with a 4-player co-op / 1 additional player. Now, I actually am not going to be purchasing this on launch at all, but I'm definitely interested in the idea of it. So for anybody who doesn't know, you're going to be playing 4-player co-op, so you are the good guys. But there's also going to be 1 additional player as the bad guy. And it seems like the bad guy will control the environment and how the enemies spawn. So for the idea for somebody to go in and control the game and then 4 people have to fight against you, I think it's quite interesting. On top of it, we may be getting another game on the actual X1, because Major Nelson's actually teased that there's going to be a surprise tomorrow at PAX. And because I filmed this on the Thursday, the chances are you probably know what the game is before I do. But out of all this news, the thing I'm most excited about is Titanfall. Now, Titanfall to me looked absolutely brilliant at E3. I've heard many good things, but since we've had Gamescom and a lot of people have got hands-on with it, all I've heard is nothing but great things. People saying that it was actually queuing up for an extra 2 hours just to play 10 minutes, get to the back of the line and queue 2 more hours just to get back on that game. So for me, I'm very, very excited about this game. The other piece of news is we are going to get a game for free if you're actually getting the Day 1 edition, and it's going to be the game of FIFA. Now, FIFA was a surprise for me because, to be fair, I'm not a big sports player. I have played a FIFA in the past and I did enjoy it. But I just didn't want to buy and give him 40 quid to EA every single year to get a game. And I know the football fans will say it is being tweaked and this, but to me, I didn't see that much difference on each one. But that's simply because I'm not a sportsman at all. But the idea of getting it free, cannot complain whatsoever, because all my mates play FIFA, so for once I can jump in and I haven't got to worry I've just blown 40 or 50 quid on a game I potentially might not enjoy. But I don't think it necessarily was the best decision, really, because I think a free game on Xbox One should kind of just tailor to everybody. And I know it's going to be incredibly hard, but I don't think FIFA was the best choice. But at the end of the day, I don't think Microsoft could have turned around and goes, that game's free. It's kind of because EA and Microsoft are in cahoots together. So and the last bit of news is Major Nelson did an unboxing and they have confirmed that we get a sticker in the box. Get in! So yeah, stickers. So that just leaves us to the PlayStation 4, which again, PlayStation 4 news is so minimal. I've taken like a 2-month break, and in that time, PlayStation 4 haven't actually given us much more information. Now, I'd like to see them actually have a game up the sleeve that can go pow last minute or something like that. But information has come out a bit more about PlayStation's memory. Now, as we know at the moment, both consoles are going to go with 8 GB of memory. The X1 is going with the decision to do 3 GB dedicated to the operating system and 5 just to gaming. The weird thing is PlayStation 4 are actually doing 3.5 to the operating system and 5.5 to the gaming. Now anybody who's clever with math will actually add them together and go, but that's 9 gig. And you'd be right. Take a sip of your drink. So Sony's come out and said the idea is that the actual console will have 4.5 GB, but if the game needs it, it can actually steal 1 gig off the operating system. Now the only thing that kind of makes me a bit dubious about this is because originally a lot of developers says making games for PlayStation 3 was incredibly hard because the architecture was slightly complicated and just made things a chore. And Sony turned around and said this is all fixed now, the architecture is completely different, it's now easy to make games for them, which was absolutely brilliant. But I think the idea of having this thing where you've got 4.5 and if you want you can steal a gig off the operating system makes it slightly messy and complicated once again. Now I know some of the good developers will probably utilise this, but then when you do get them random small games, I don't think any of them are actually going to spend the time and effort to try and utilise it. But when it comes down to Sony's big hitting games like they've done with Heavy Rain and The Last of Us, that will be fully utilised. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's really going to affect it either way, because when it comes down to something like Battlefield, they kind of just make a version and just port it to both. I don't think they're going to turn around and go, oh, there's additional 0.5 gig there, let's squeeze those pixels. So the last thing I want to talk about is Grand Theft Auto. The Grand Theft Auto Online trailer came out. I can't remember if it came out before I stopped doing the Friday Night Rants, but either way, it's a glorious trailer. But it sounds like it's actually going to be separate parts. Grand Theft Auto, so you're going to have Grand Theft Auto 5, and you're also going to have Grand Theft Auto Online. And Rockstar have now come out and said the online version of the game will not actually be accessible for the first 2 weeks. Now they've gone on to say it's an incredibly complicated beast that they've actually created, and they're still tweaking it at the moment. So for the first 2 weeks, you're not going to be able to go online and kill prostitutes with friends. But I'm kind of happy with that because it gives me the 2 weeks to just settle down and just enjoy the story. Because as much as I would love to play Grand Theft Auto story, I'm a sucker for playing online with my friends. And I didn't want to have that thing where when I first put the disc in, my friends are online, I'm like, what do I do? So Rockstar have now made that decision for me. So that leaves us with the question of the week, and this week it's come from Jordan Appleby, who simply asked, what next-gen game are you looking forward to the most? Now, on one hand, I would like to say Titanfall because it does look a very exciting game and I just want to get my fingertips on it. But it's impossible for me to say that because the real answer is The Witcher 3. Now, Witcher 2 is one of them games that I really didn't play on launch, and my friend was like, it's one of the best games you need to play. I'm like, yeah, alright. And then when I played it, I was like, Jesus Christ, it's one of the best games I've ever played. I've actually got The Witcher 1 on the PC, which I haven't got quite to grips with yet. I'm going to try and force myself into it. I know once I get into it, I'm going to love it. But at the same time, I'm also reading some novels to do with the actual Witcher series, so I just love everything about The Witcher. And from everything that I've seen so far about The Witcher 3, it looks amazing. Some more information came out today, and I've kind of not even read it because it's like Mass Effect to me. When Mass Effect information started coming out, I was like, I'm going to buy it anyway, so why spoil something? I'm just going to enjoy it not knowing anything. And I feel the same way with The Witcher, so I'm not going to read much about it. I just know it's going to be complete. So yeah, the question goes out to you then. What next-gen game are you looking forward to the most? So that's me done and dusted now. I'm going to go and wash my face because I'm incredibly sweaty. I quite enjoyed this and we should do it again sometime. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Cheers. Bye.